Welcome and hello everybody. Today our lesson 2 and unit 2 with universal forces in nature. Okay, let's start our lesson. Before we start, we must understand the meaning of the force and what is the meaning of the force. There is a simple activity inside you in this picture. Look at these static objects around us, such as a ball on the table or a book on the table. It is a static object without any movement. So, the observation and conclusion, there is no force, effect, or acting on them. But in the second picture, the moving ball, when you kick a static ball gently by your foot, it will move. So this moving ball, the observation and conclusion, it change from the static state to motion state and so on. As the third picture, when you hit a racket ball or a tennis ball, it deliver the ball by his hand. So the ball is a change in direction. Why it change in direction? Because there is a force acting on this object and it can change its direction. But in the fourth picture, when you look on it as this man which try to push this wall, the wall doesn't move. Why the wall doesn't move? Because the force acting on it is improper or not proper force. Okay, so we can conclude it when the object change from static state to moving state, there is a proper force acting on it. So the definition of the force, it is an effect attempts to change the object's phase from being static to motion or vice versa, or attempts to change the direction of the motion. Again, there is a force definition. It is an attempt to change the object's phase from being static to motion or vice versa, or attempts to change the direction of the motion. There is measuring unit of the force, is measuring unit is Newton. There is, on the other hand, the universal forces in nature. There is many different type of forces in nature, and these forces cannot be seen in nature, but we can feel them in some phenomena, such as what? Lightning, wind motion, and attraction of objects to Earth, nuclear explosions, the attraction of iron to magnet, and the fire weapons, and the atomic reactions, and generating the electric current. And thunder. Force are divided into three divisions. The first division is attraction force. The second division is electromagnetic forces. The third division is nuclear forces, and it's divided into two types. The first type, weak nuclear forces and strong nuclear forces. Firstly, we will discuss the attraction force. Attraction force, we can conclude it. On Earth, all the masses are attracted to the Earth by the force. So all object or all masses which has object are attracted to the Earth by a force. The size of this force is depend on the mass of the object. Again, the size of these force which attract the object toward the earth is depend on the mass of the object. There is a simple activity to explain these words. Firstly, try to lift these masses from the ground and put them on the table. There is different masses, 1 kilogram, 2 kilogram, and 5 kilogram, and 10 kilogram, and try to lift these masses and put them on the table from the ground to the table. There is a simple observation. The work done to lift object increase by increasing the mass object, which means the work done to lift 10 kilogram is greater than the work done to lift 1 kilogram. So we can conclude that attraction to the center by the object weight, which increase by increasing the object mass. So we can conclude that the earth attracts this object to its center by the force known as the object weight. And the object weight is increased by increasing the object mass. So there is a simple definition of the object weight. What is the object weight? It is the ability of the earth to attract that object to its center. Again, the object weight definition, it is the ability of the earth to attract that object to its center. Or it is the force of earth's gravity on the object. It is the force of the earth's gravity to the object. Object center of the gravity. Object center of gravity. Every object have a center of gravity. It is defined as it is a point at the center of the object which the force of gravity affects the object. Again, it is the point at the center of the object at which the force of gravity affects the object. So that is a rule to conclude the object weight. Object weight, which summarized by W equal object mass m times Earth's gravity acceleration. Object weight unit is Newton, object mass with kilogram, and Earth's gravity is equal 9.8 or 10 meter per second power 2. There is a special note. This note is very important. Object mass is fixed value, which means the object mass doesn't change by changing the place. The object mass is a fixed value, but object weight change from a place to another place. To explain it, object weight of a person in the earth is different to object weight to a person in the moon, but the mass of this person on the earth is equal to the mass of this person in the moon, because mass is a fixed value but weight is not a fixed value due to change on the earth's gravity acceleration. Why? Or this question is give a reason, because non-spherical phase of the earth. We can explain it by this picture. The earth is not a perfect spherical phase, so that the earth's gravity is different from a place to another place. So we can conclude it as we say gravity decrease with altitude or height, since greater altitude means greater distance from the Earth's center. Again, gravity decrease with altitude or height, since greater altitude means greater distance from the Earth's center. Where gravity is less strong at the equator than the two poles, because two poles is nearest to the center of the Earth, but in the equator it is farthest than the center of the Earth, so the gravity is increased or decreased according to the distance between this point and the center of the Earth. Secondly, we will talk about electromagnetic force. Electromagnetic force, it is the magnetic force produced by the effect of passing an electric current through a coil. And this activity we take it in grade 5. It is very simple. We change from electric current to to magnetic field by using this simple picture, or by using by this simple activity. We will observe that when an electric current pass through the coils, copper coils, which rotate or twist around iron nail will work as a magnet. So the iron bar will attract the iron filings, as iron bar will change it into a magnet. We can conclude it, the electric current has an magnetic effect. So in our life, there is some application using the electromagnetic force. First is the electromagnet, an isolated copper wire coiling around a bar of wrought iron. This idea by changing the electric energy into a magnetic energy. It used in electric winches to lift scrap of iron and cars in ports, and the electric bell. Secondly, it used in electric generator or the dynamo. It converts the mechanical energy or kinetic energy into electric energy, and it used in the electric motor. In the electric motor, the electric energy will change into mechanical energy, and the motors in fan and blenders and washing machines. Third, the nuclear energy. Scientists discovered that nucleus stores massive amount of energy inside in it. So it's using it in military purpose and peaceful purpose. This force is a combined with force known as nuclear force. So nuclear force can divide it into two divisions. Weak nuclear force, we used got radiant elements and radiation used in medicine and some scientific researches and industry. And the second type, strong nuclear force, and this strong nuclear force liberate nuclear energy to produce electric energy and to produce military purpose. Thank you for listening for the first lesson of Unit 1. You are welcomed anytime to ask us about any question in this lesson. Thank you for listening.